Go!
Hey there, internets. Tennis Net here with coaching Carousel for Dummies by Dummies. Idaho Vandals facing off against Marshall Thundering Herd. Jump into the action. Marshall unleashing the fake punt to convert a third down early in the game. They weren't able to get anything out of it other than a field goal attempt, which falls well short, however, setting Idaho up with good field position. Idaho drives into the red zone, throws, intercepted. Nice athletic play by the Marshall secondary. And Marshall is unable to convert. Idaho gets the ball back. Interception midfield. Idaho offense stymied all day. Marshall marches down the field, gets in the red zone, but is stymied on third down as the half is winding down by the Vandal defense, forced to kick a field goal. Finally, somebody puts some points on the board.
That defense is feeling pretty good about themselves right now.
Whopping 3-0 halftime lead. Marshall Thundering Herd over the ineffective Idaho Vandals. I can't run the ball. I can't throw the ball. What the heck? In the third quarter, did have a little more success, ran a little bit better. Still pretty sluggish offense. Tied it up 3-3, but almost coming out of the half. Marshall unleashes the most effective play by far of either side all day. But again, in the red zone, Idaho defense, aided by a penalty earlier, manages to stop the Marshall Thundering Herd from punching it in. They're forced to settle for a short field goal to take a 6-3 lead, giving their offense one last chance to take a lead in this game. Who wants to win this game? Somebody must want to win this game. And you can see the Idaho fans very frustrated with the ineffective performance. Actually started, hit the button a little quick coming out of the kickoff there, which I just simmed through. And I noticed the sim's going well. Hey, we're going upfield. Let's just keep simming. Punch the button. Let's get in the red zone. Hey, it's looking good. Interception. Fourth interception of the day. Second in the red zone. Marshall gets the ball back. Converts the third down with the scrambling quarterback again, which happened far too many times that game. Marshall Thundering Herd pulls out the ugly LSU Alabama-esque victory 6-3. Have you ever had one of those games where you just don't play well? That's pretty much what was going on with me here today. As often as I got into Marshall territory, I just couldn't seem to make anything happen, and I made way too many mistakes. So there we are. You know what? The bad thing is I followed this up with an ugly loss to Texas Tech, which I decided to sim through a la Tennessee, thinking maybe I'll come up with something. Didn't quite work out that way. Sim loss 28-9. The worst part is, after that, I couldn't help but notice a prestige hit. So what is the good news? Well, we are still herding some of our 3-star recruits to the finish line, trying to get them interested, trying to get them in for visits. Still pouring it on with a few guys. Many of the 3-stars I have had to abandon, of course, and you know, just we're not showing sufficient levels of interest. So maybe we can console ourselves with recruiting if it'll just continue to fall our way. On a quick side note, check out this Hayden guy. I tried to recruit him a while and gave up, but his interest meter hasn't moved at all. I'm just wondering about that. Anyway, you can see us there in the WAC, #2 behind Utah State, despite the poor record that we have at this point. Ugh. So who's in the top of the pops? Wisconsin still sitting pretty with Penn State up there. How does the Big Ten always do good in the Sims? I don't understand. As you saw there, the game no one wants to watch. Western Kentucky Hilltoppers versus the Idaho Vandals. A 1-star program throwdown in Western Kentucky. Starting the ball off early. It looks auspicious because it's raining. Had a big game at Ypsilanti in the rain. Not starting out quite so right. Picked off. Athletic play. 14-7 Hilltoppers with the pick 6. Yeesh. But we managed to answer even after they went up 21-7. We kicked a field goal and then got this nice touchdown pass later in the second half to narrow the lead 21-17. Finally beginning to right the ship, and the momentum is beginning to swing. We actually tacked on a field goal just before the half to make it 21-20 going into the third quarter. Dahl was hurt. The second string running back had to start to carry the load. You can see him plowing downfield here on a nice counter play in the third quarter to put us in a good position. Yep, and there you can see the end of the third quarter. 28-20, Western Kentucky over Idaho, but the game isn't over yet. And we were driving, as you can see there, getting close to the red zone. Second string back, finally gaining some ground. And on the next play, punching it in. That should have been a face mask. We get the lead narrowed, 28-26. Go with the conversion. I end up calling the exact same play, just to the opposite direction. I guess the Hilltopper defense is finally winded enough that our ground game is getting some traction. We managed to tie the game 28-28. We get a nice pass play again to the back, second string back out of the slot, pulls us upfield, puts us in a position. Unfortunately, we can't capitalize in the red zone, forced to settle for a field goal, but that does give us the lead later in the game, 31-28. Hilltopper fans not so happy. Crucial third down, converted with the fullback up the gut. We run out the clock and get a much, much needed win. Final score, Idaho 31. Western Kentucky 28.
As we finish up the broadcast, what do you have to say about how this game turned out, Kirk?
You wouldn't figure either team would pull away, and it'd go right down to the very end. This was a really exciting matchup. Idaho was not going to win this game easily, and they knew that. They had to scrap and should be proud to come out on top. Both teams should be proud of their effort.
You'll note that Herbie is talking about us this way because we were actually the underdogs. Herbie tapped the Hilltoppers to win the game. Interesting how he called the game even though it wasn't the game to watch. Anyhow, that about wraps things up. I can't help but think how not all one-star programs are created equal. We blew away the Eagles, struggled mightily and failed against the Herd, and now beat the Hilltoppers. So I don't know. It is what it is. Well, what it really is the end of this week's Coaching Carousel podcast. Hope you were amused. Hope you've learned what not to do by watching me. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.